All right, guys, welcome to another episode of Get the Puck Out. My name is Chris Mancuso, and we are back with Jack Gotzel. Get the Puck Out is here, tarpsoffsports.com and the Tarps Off Sports family. We have a special guest coming up a little bit later in the show, Saverina Scozzari of Saverina PR. She's the player public relations representative for some alumni guys and some current guys like Trocheck, Sagan, Jake Muzzin, etc. She's popping by the program today. But Jack, we are back. Now, the big news from last week to this week, and it affects us as Bruins fans, is Tom Wilson takes the headshot on Brandon Carlo. Predatory hit for sure, a predator type hit, 7-game suspension. In a 56-game season, when you compare it to an 82-game season, he basically got suspended. Like what? I'm not a math fucking guy here, but 15, 16 games maybe he got suspended. Whatever is what it is. I'm not mad about it. I think it's, this guy hasn't been suspended in a couple of years. I know he had like that 20-game one or whatever. It's been a couple of years. I'm happy with the 7-game suspension, but holy man. And listen, I think Wilson plays like an asshole too. Believe me. And I was mad when it happened. Believe me, I was mad when it happened.
Oh, 100%.
But I was watching yesterday. I saw a clip of Kiprios on Real Kipper at noon, and he's bang on correct. Name me any fan who wouldn't love Tom Wilson if he was on their team. Jack Edwards is having a conniption while he's in the penalty box. And don't tell me Jack Edwards wouldn't love Tom Wilson if Tom Wilson was on the Bruins. If Tom Wilson was on the Bruins, Tom Wilson would be a hard-nosed player who plays the game the right way and he gets into the situations. But because he hurt a Bruin, he's a predator attacker. I'm a Bruins fan. I don't even fuck with Tom Wilson that much. But listen, I would take Tom Wilson on the Bruins in half of a second.
Oh,
I don't
absolutely.
care how he plays. He's the type of guy you need in this league. Hockey's violent. Sorry about it. Like it just is. It gets violent sometimes.
And I've seen people compare Tom Wilson to all these goons that can't put the puck in the net. That's not what Tom Wilson is. Tom Wilson's also a very, very skilled player. He's hard-nosed. He's going to protect his own, and he's going to toe that line, and sometimes he's going to go over it. You know what? The NHL does need guys like that. They need enforcers. They need these guys that bring physicality. And don't forget that Tom Wilson, at the end of the day, can put the puck in the net and score points for his team. Any team would want Tom Wilson. It's just absolutely ridiculous, and people are blinded by their own team's fandom that they act like Tom Wilson is this goon, like he's like Matt Cook.
Like he's Matt Cook, exactly. I was just about to say that.
Rafi Torres. No, yeah. Tom Wilson is a star in this league. Maybe not a superstar, but he is a star in this league, and he looks very good for the Washington Capitals, and he was a big factor in their Stanley Cup run that brought the cup back to Washington.
Yeah, exactly, man. Listen,
don't compare him to Rafi Torres or Matt Cook. He's not some bum.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I hate the hit as much as the next guy. I think he's a predator, but at the end of the day, bro, guess what? He fought 2 times in that game. He answers the bell when he has to. He's not Cook. He's not Torres. He's not a rat weasel. He plays the game on the edge. And guess what? When you play the game on the edge, sometimes you walk the line, you're going to fall on the other side, man. It's like a tightrope, right?
Marchand does that, and Bruins fans love him for it, and they all want to defend Marchand. He walks the line. Sometimes he goes over it. Maybe not to the same extent as Tom Wilson.
Well, he's not big enough to have
they don't like when Brad Marchand does something. They all run, and now Bruins fans want to do the same thing to Tom Wilson. Look in the mirror. You would 100%. Love Tom Wilson if he was wearing a Bruins jersey. You defend him just like you defend Brad Marchand.
110%, man. I'm glad that we align on that. I thought maybe coming into this, we were going to have an argument on this, but me and you are pretty aligned when it comes to that stuff. Man, I'm a Bruins fan, but fuck out of here with this get Tom Wilson out of the league crap. Get that out of here.
Exactly what it is. It's crap.
It's crap, man. Speaking of crap, what a crap season the Buffalo Sabres are having across the pond from me here in God's country, Fort Erie, Ontario. The good people of Fort Erie and Buffalo have to watch this rotten Buffalo Sabres team where their center, top guy, Jack Eichel, wants out $10 million a year. He's got 2 goals in 21 games. He has, the Buffalo Sabres have an NHL worst .326 point percentage this season.
Wait, but Editor and Leaf and Dwayne from Buffalo told me they're going to the Stanley Cup final.
Editor and
the
Leaf,
worst point percentage.
Well, Idiot and Leaf and Dwayne from Buffalo don't know what they're talking about because this Buffalo Sabres team stinks. Jack Eichel, though, he's hurt, and it does not look good. It looks like he's going to miss some significant time here. Man, this team can't buy buy anything. Like, they signed Taylor Hall. They have the offseason they have. You think, hey, Buffalo might put it together. No way. This team sucks. And how much longer can it be the coach's fault? They're Pagula, like they got to do something in that city, man. They got to just blow it up and start again or something. I mean, Kevin Adams, he has his work cut out for him. Holy.
And honestly, Jack Eichel looks absolutely checked out. You see him breaking his stick, freaking out every time the camera points over to him after a goal. He just looks absolutely miserable. I wouldn't be shocked to see if he's getting the second opinion to see if he can be out longer.
Yeah, man, exactly. I know he looks like I'm with you, Jack. Jack Eichel has checked out on the Buffalo Sabres, even with the injury, without the injury. 2 goals. Come on, Jack. You're better than that. He should at least, if you want to get out of there, that's one thing. Have a little pride, though. This kid ain't trying hard enough. I watched too many shifts, him coming back lazy, taking a long time to change off the ice. His attitude shit. Speaking of good young players, though, I'm going to morph this into a nice, you talked about idiot in Leaf. Well, we're going to keep him off to the side, but Austin Matthews has been back. He has no points in his 3 games since he's returned, but they have had some days off. And Sheldon Keefe, the head coach of the Toronto Maple Leafs, did say that Matthews' injury that he's working with is definitely going to affect his shot. Like, he's back, but it's obviously looks like it's a wrist or some sort of injury where it sucks, man. I thought we were going to see Austin Matthews pot 50 goals in this 56 game season. I don't see that happening now between the injury and what he's dealing with now. That's too bad because holy man, Austin Matthews has been red hot this year. I feel like we have to talk about him every week, but I think when you're looking at the season and everything that's going on, 100% you have to talk about him. Now, Jack, we're talking about the Toronto Maple Leafs here. This is a team that definitely looks better, but they're certainly not primed to win a cup yet. You see the list of guys out there, and I target on defense, right? This is where this team needs it. Is there a better fit for the Toronto Maple Leafs? Like, maybe I'm wrong in my head, but does David Savard out of Columbus not like tick a lot of the boxes that the Toronto Maple Leafs? I know everybody likes Ekholm in Nashville. That's the sexy name. And I mean, his cap hit is beautiful too. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know. I'm not trying to say they need a little dick and balls on that back end in Toronto, but they do. And it's like David Savard provides that and more.
Yeah, they absolutely do. And you don't need this offensive defenseman for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Look how high powered they are up front with all those guys. Tavares, Matthews, Nylander, Marner. You don't need that offensive defenseman back there. You do need dick and balls. And I mean, we all seen William Nylander when somebody gets hit. He runs the other way.
He's embarrassing.
Yeah, they need a guy in there that'll stick up for those young kids, those young superstar forwards up there in Toronto. And they also need someone that can play in their own defensive end and be a shutdown defenseman. And that is Savard. He's one of the best at it in the entire league. I mean, if Toronto can get that defense, I think they are competing for a Stanley Cup. And I don't think they're that far away. I think they're 1 or 2 great additions away from being a Stanley Cup contender. And they could even do that at this deadline. I don't think they're too far away to compete this year. I think with the right moves at the deadline, the Toronto Maple Leafs are competing for a Stanley Cup this season.
Yeah. And listen, I'm Mr. Like, you ask anybody in my town, everybody's a Leafs fan here. Listen, when Babcock and them came in, I knew it was shit. When Brian Burke was running stuff, I knew it was going to be bad. This is the first time I'm looking at the Toronto Maple Leafs with the additions of Thornton, and they got Bogosian and, Wayne Simmons when he was healthy looking all right. And I just think Jumbo Joe, I keep saying it, but he's just rubbed off on this team so much that if they do go out and add David Savard and then maybe like another top 9 forward in case somebody gets hurt or Jimmy Vesey isn't putting up goals like he has been the last few games, and you kind of need to slot in a little more depth scoring, they could do that. But David Savard, to me, dings all the bells. When you look at a guy like Ekholm, I think Boston Bruins, Philadelphia Flyers, I don't think that the Toronto Maple Leafs need a guy like him. If I'm the Maple Leafs, I'm all in on Savard. All in.
I'm all in on Savard, but I'm still calling about Ekholm.
Well, you have to. His contract's too good, but the type of defenseman that I think they would benefit from having more is Savard. I've been wrong, though. I've been wrong before. If they get Ekholm and they win the Stanley Cup, I wouldn't be surprised. But Jack, I'm with you. They can compete this year because that North Division is so weak. I think that Toronto could come out of that division and be the least banged up team out of anybody. So you look at a team like Toronto, a young GM in Dubas, who's going to start feeling the heat now, those contracts, the money, Tavares, Matthews, Nylander, Marner, all down the line. It's put up or shut up time. And I think Joe's going to help. And hey, I mean, listen, it would be insane for me. I'm in the Niagara region here. If the Toronto Maple Leafs won the Stanley Cup, COVID would be over in Canada for like whatever day the parade was. It would be over. People would be in the streets from Niagara Falls to Toronto. It would be the biggest sports parade, maybe in the history of sports parades. Like the people, I think they'd have to run it down the whole goddamn QEW for like 2 hours. It would be the most insane parade ever. If we get the vaccines in us, I would honestly, before back in the day when I just was a fan, before I started getting into the media end of things, that would have sounded like a nightmare to me. But like, you know, Chris is getting soft with age, man. I think I would like to see a Toronto Stanley Cup, and I'm with you, man. I'm with you big time. And I think they're going to compete. I think that our Boston Bruins, Jack, they have two problems on their forward lines. Two problems. A, wagon boy Anders Bjork stinks. Get him out. And two, Jake DeBrusk doesn't try hard enough, thinks he's a superstar for some reason. I don't know. He kind of gives me that vibe of a kid who had a hockey player dad growing up, but he's just not working for it like the Kachuk boys and other guys do. Get him out. Stinks. Bjork, DeBrusk. This is a deadline for Don Sweeney where the Boston Bruins have to go for it, Jack. They have spent too long going for it half-assed. The Bruins are like just the tip at the deadline. That's what they always do. They're afraid to move the Studnikas, afraid to move the Vakanainens. They won't even move a Zaboral half the time.
They moved to Heinen.
Yeah, well, smart move. Nick Ritchie's way better than Heinen. Heinen, another guy like Bjork, stinks. Get him out of here. Love that. I am always right when it comes to the Boston Bruins. All you idiots at Diehards and all these other slapdick Boston blogs, I'm never wrong. Bjork sucks. DeBrusk sucks. DeBrusk, they're sick of him. I can tell the coach has had enough, said the effort level isn't there, Jack. Healthy scratch tonight, Jake DeBrusk. Do you think the Boston Bruins end up trying to move him within this season, Jack? Because I do.
I definitely think they try to move Jake DeBrusk at this deadline. You know, people were saying it last deadline. Could this be the deadline Jake DeBrusk moves? And I thought that was too early. But now I think is an appropriate time. I think it's going to happen either this deadline, this offseason, or next deadline. I just don't see Jake DeBrusk being in a Boston Bruins uniform for too much longer. And I mean, there are so many good guys that you can move him for at this trade deadline. I mean, you see Anaheim struggling. They've got a good guy over there. We've heard the little bit of whispers about Raquel being available. Yeah. However, I don't even know if DeBrusk is enough to get Raquel.
No. They would need to add on that a ton.
Well, I don't even think they would need to add. I don't think Anaheim would really be that interested. I think they're more looking for like a Studnicka, Lauko, Vakanainen type deal. And I think you would probably need all three players to pull that off.
Yeah, you got to move DeBrusk to make the cap work. So whether Anaheim wants to take him or not is irrelevant. Now they have a great relationship. They pulled off the Andre Kasha deal. And listen, I showed everybody the Kasha stuff. I knew Kasha was going to be a Bruin and Bacchus was going 3 or 4 days before it happened. And if you guys want to see that, that's on Twitter. You just ask me, I'll fucking show you. The same guy. And Jack, remember when Craig Smith signed too? I had that the day before and I didn't even want to report it because I didn't want it to be true. I actually happen to like Craig Smith now.
We're in the breaking news business and he doesn't want to report it because he doesn't want it to be true.
Yeah, I was trying not to put it into the universe, man. But listen, the same guy told me that they at least are going to try to talk about Raquel. Doesn't mean he's coming. There's Philip Forsberg. There's a ton of other great forward options out there. Taylor Hall, who wouldn't take dude, Taylor Hall would get done for Jake DeBrusk straight up. Taylor Hall stunk this year. And then if you're Buffalo, you could try to sign Hall in the summer. I think Hall actually could stay in Buffalo because no one's going to pay him $8 million a year. All they have to do is look down the bench. And if you're Taylor Hall, you see the former figure skater, as Big Dick Rick would say, turned hockey player, Jeff Skinner, making $9 million a year. Like that can just be Taylor Hall. Like no one like Boston or Nashville or the other teams that were in on him, Colorado, they're not going to pay him any more than 5.5, 6, and they shouldn't. He's not good enough to.
and I don't want to pump Kyprios's tires so much to the point where they explode, but like he pointed out the other day, who wouldn't buy low on Taylor Hall? Are
Yeah,
you
you have
crazy?
to.
Are
Dude,
you
if the
crazy?
Bruins could get Jake DeBrusk off the books and bring in Taylor Hall for the rest of this season, you hit that move to play with David Krejci every single day. Imagine you could have Big Nick Ritchie playing with Krejci and Taylor Hall is your second line. That's a second line. You got a big rig guy, you got a skill guy, and you got a sniper. The Bruins are a team. Listen, this core doesn't have long left. This is the year the Boston Bruins constantly half go for it. They put their paw in the water. It's time to dive in, make it happen. Bergeron deserves it. And plus, I'd love to walk through that fucking asshole Zdeno Chara too. Seeing him go after Marchand after a Tom Wilson thing, and everyone's like, oh, Chara. Like after I saw that, I'm like, no, like this is good. He's the enemy now. Fuck him. Fuck the Washington Capitals. We'll see what happens the rest of the way, but the Bruins are definitely gonna have to add. But I do want to say too, the Ducks, their coach, Dallas Eakins, they're having a bad year. Management not worried. He's not going to be fired. They know this is a long-term project. It's time to build the next wave of the Anaheim Ducks around Trevor Zegras, and that's what I think they're going to do. I don't think they're going to move Raquel. He just named the guy that I get my information from, just named him as a guy to watch out for. We'll see what we can get for the rest of the deadline here too. But Jake DeBrusk could be of interest in Nashville if they do an Ekholm deal. I think they think
100%.
DeBrusk, I think, could fit and do well there too. He's just not playing the way the Bruins expect a kid his size to play. And there's different expectations between different organizations and so on. And like I said, like, you know, Cassidy didn't say today that there's been effort issues for no reason. Like it's percolating. It's been percolating since last year. You told me last year, like last off season, no, it's not time to give up on DeBrusk. I was like, get him and Bjork the fuck out of here.
And
it's
now I am
now.
saying it's time.
No, yeah. It's time. And I was saying it early in the summer because I'm emotional. I act on emotion. You were right to say like we should give him time, but time's fucking up for him.
Time's up.
It's going to be an interesting deadline. And you know what? You look at the calendar, what are we, like a month away? So we got a lot of preparations to do at tarpsoftsports.com, guys. But I want to now bring in our special guest of the episode, Saverina Scozzari of SaverinaPR.com. Here she comes. As mentioned, guys, we have Saverina Scozzari here. Saverina does it all. She's in PR right now, which is incredible, working with some of the top NHL players you would expect to see. Saverina PR. She just started. Her client list includes like Tyler Seguin, Shane Corson, Eddie Lack, Jake Musson, Vinny Trocheck. Sav, how are you?
I'm good. It's good to be back. How are you?
Good. Yeah, it's been a while since we caught up. I've started a whole new website now, and just, you know, we've branched out into all other sports. Hockey's still, you know, a mainstay for us though, and everything like that. But I wanted to have you on because first off, I know we're coming to the conclusion of the 6 Degree Challenge for the Kidney Foundation here in Ontario. Why don't you kind of let us know and let the people out there that might not know about it know what the 6 Degree Challenge is and what it's raising awareness for, and like your personal tie to it too, because not everybody will remember some of our episodes from the past, right?
Yeah, for sure. So the 6 Degree Challenge is done through the Kidney Foundation of Ontario and even nationwide. It's my second year as a challenger. I was born with kidney disease. I'm working towards transplant right now. And it's been great to connect with different people that are in similar situations, and we learn from each other through this. And it's so simple to join. You just take a selfie throwing 6, show 6 fingers, nominate 6 people to do the same, just to raise awareness about kidney disease.
And that ends on Thursday. So you guys have been killing it. It's incredible to see now. This is what, your second year working alongside them?
Yep. Yeah, it's been great. It was awesome. A lot of the guys joined in on the first day.
That's incredible. Well, the last time we spoke, you were working somewhere, but we got Saverina PR now. How did that come about? How long have you been branched off on your own? And what's a day in and day out like for something like that?
I mean, it was always an idea. I just finally took the jump and created it, I guess, in November. I created all the social media pages, and then I officially launched it in January. I thought maybe I'd take on a few more alumni and some fourth line guys, and it just grew really quickly. It connected with different agents, got some new players, including Jake Muslin. So it's been really busy. Days usually consist of a lot of Zoom calls, more than I would like to do, but slowly adapting.
That's good. That's awesome. Yeah. I'm sure it's an intense environment at times. How do you find running it yourself as opposed to working for somewhere?
I do like it in terms of creating my schedule, especially with everything with my health and different doctor's appointments. I can set that time aside to really recover.
Yeah, 100%. So like Saverina said, she was born with kidney disease. Now you're in the process of looking for a transplant.
I have a match. Both my parents are matches, and my mom's gonna be the donor when the time comes. It's just a matter of how I'm feeling. And I think once I start feeling well, it could take up to 2 weeks to book it.
Okay. So that's good. At least you got matches. I was going to say, if there's like some way we can get it out if you needed it, or I'd give Sav's given me some great interviews, great guests before. I'd give her my kidney any day, man. And it's incredible what you honestly do for the cause. And I saw Sarah Ayers talking about it, the wife of David Ayers, who everyone knows. Jack, you're pretty familiar with what he did to the Leafs.
Yep, the Zamboni driver that came in and took it to the Leafs. Absolutely.
He actually, is it him with the kidney disease? It's him. Yeah, he actually has kidney disease too, man. So like that makes his story even more amazing, which I think like is funny because a lot of people actually don't even know that, which I think, you know, it's obviously incredible what he did, but then doing it while also having that battle on his hands is obviously pretty cool. So you got Saverina PR, you're motoring now. What's next? Are you looking to still onboard more clients, or are you kind of working towards taking care of the ones you got?
I'm just taking care of the ones that I have. I don't want too many. My focus is on building relationships with the ones that I have and their families, making sure they're taken care of, earning that trust, and also trusting them. I mean, it's more of a friendship than a client relationship, which is really nice.
Yeah, and I saw Vinny Trocheck. He dropped his new clothing line. He came on Get the Puck Out back in October, and he talked about it. I saw that was fired out yesterday.
Yeah, no, he's a really great guy, great family. We usually shoot the shit watching football. He's a big Steelers fan, so I was bugging him when they went on that losing streak.
He was the fantasy football champion of my fantasy football league. So, I mean, I do know that he is a pretty good football guy.
Yeah.
Which is incredible. VincentTrocheck.com is where you can actually catch that merch. So, I mean, I like the stuff. It's a nice design and it's really cool. You got that clients list. I mean, I see Tyler Seguin's name on there. You must be happy you have this version of Tyler Seguin and not maybe the Tyler Seguin that first broke into the NHL. Must make your job a lot easier. But no, it's incredible. You know, Sav and I have been, I don't know, we've been friends now for like maybe almost a year or 2 years, something like that. And just
something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. This whole pandemic makes stuff feel a lot longer. It's at least a year or two, and just the progression and everything that you are dealing with along the way makes it incredible. And that's why we like having you by. But let's talk about it because people on here don't know. Saverina used to work for TMZ for a year and did TMZ Live. How do you find working in like public relations as opposed to being like an on-air personality? What's the biggest thing that made you transition from being like Saverina in front of the camera to like Saverina taking care of the guys? Is there like a big difference in preparation for how you prepare for a show as to how you prepare, you know, everyday events for these guys? Or did you take anything from what you learned at TMZ and translate it into this? Or is this just something completely different?
I mean, this is something completely different, but there were things that helped me from those days, including making those connections with different media personalities and using them now. And then also just doing interviews like this, I still get to be on camera and I still get to have a voice.
Oh, that's incredible. It's unbelievable. So the 6 Degree Challenge, they have a website. It's 6degreechallenge.com. If you're going to make any sort of donations, think about the Kidney Foundation. Saverina Scozzari, one of the good girls in the hockey world for sure. The one thing I always like about Sav is like, you're a true hockey fan. You get how it works, you know. There's some people that because of just the way that I joke around would be like a little bit like, oh, I'm not coming on there. Sav don't care. Sav's for the boys. We love her. Congratulations on the PR firm. Congratulations on everything else. I just wanted to check in with you before the 6 Degree Challenge ended and make sure everything's okay. I know, like I said, you took a little pause there, but then you just came. I thought you were taking a pause for your health, and then bang, she comes back and it's like SaverinaPR.com. You're never resting, even when you're resting. And I just want to let you know that we always support you here, man, at Tarps Off Sports. We love you a lot. Let the people know where you can find where they can find you.
At Saverina PR on Instagram and Twitter. And I think we're also on Facebook as well as SaverinaPR.com.
SaverinaPR.com. All over the internet, Saverina PR. I can't wait to see what happens for you next with the health stuff. Obviously, always keep me up to date and make sure you're taking care of yourself. Don't work too hard.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sav. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And I want to let everyone else know that we will be back next week with another episode of Get the Puck Out. Make sure you click the subscribe button and never miss an episode, guys. Take care.